TvT that can be also important in this matchup. Shopify Rebellion against Team Liquid, especially with the Rebellion leading 2-0. Clem in the top left, and the blue will be trying to get Liquid on the scoreboard, and he really needs a 2-0 to give them a chance here. Whereas ByuN in the bottom right, our red Terran, well, 2 maps from him would actually just seal the deal. 1 map would force a guaranteed ace, if nothing else, but they are definitely favorites to win the series straight up, I would say, if ByuN can just get 1 map. And honestly, TvT between 2 players who I feel like ByuN's TvT has been pretty darn good lately. I'd say that Clem's TvT has definitely been on the up lately. I don't know who I would prefer if I had to pick between them. They both have fairly aggressive styles, although Clem has maybe been better at actually figuring out how to slow it down, how to play a little bit more slowly, and, you know, just kind of being a bit more mature in the TvT almost. It's been kind of back and forth between them this year. 3-2 in terms of matches, and that's in ByuN's favor. ByuN winning the WardiTV TLMC event, IM Katowice, and in ESL Open Cup America. Clem has also won an ESL Open Cup and also a Root Gaming tournament. So, yeah, a little bit ByuN favored there. The most recent victory going to Clem with a 2-0, so not really any guarantee as to which way it should go. That last match they played the 9th of May, so just a couple weeks back, Clem picking up the victory. We'll see if that will be repeated here today as our Terran versus Terran gets underway. Got a factory on the way up on either side of the map, and just going to be obviously having that be a pretty standard opening without going for the expansion quickly. The factory is where you want to be going to, so that's exactly what we'll begin to go for now. So setting up for that. Again, factories coming in on either side, Reaper's coming through. Just going to be seeing the ByuN forces moving out and around a little bit. See where they can get to as the Reaper of Clem is actually about to go and jump up into this main base. So Clem's going to get straight in here, and he will maybe have a chance to harass. ByuN's Reaper's going to catch it on the way out. Clem already took a shot, so now he just has to straight up run. That grenade wasn't far enough ahead, and stopping to put the grenade down. That's a dead Reaper, so yeah, that's a nice W. Okay, so that's a good win from ByuN early. Gets rid of the Reaper of Clem, and that just puts Clem a little bit behind in terms of early units at the front. Maybe some further along the line scouting information is now going to be very limited from Clem as well, so a couple of things that are not quite as ideal for him. As I just have the Widow Mine on its way out CS, and that's going to be something to maybe try and slow down some of these attacks that typically come at the front. So, looking out for that. There's the 2 Reapers in the Hellion. I'm going to start moving in. 1 Reaper there goes down instantly, and now Reaper Hellion against Reaper Hellion facing off. Oh, whoa! Wow, that was a fantastic Widow Mine Reaper grenade that bounces the Hellion into the Widow Mine. Helps Clem out a whole bunch right there. And that's just going to help him to stay alive during this. Although now the extra Hellion shows up, and we are going to lose the Hellion. Reaper and the Hellion still alive from ByuN, and now Clem's SCV is in trouble until reinforcements arrive. But even the reinforcements don't seem great at the minute. I mean, a single Reaper, that's something it feels like is engageable, and Clem seems to know it as well. He's already turning tail and running back up to his main base. I felt like maybe ByuN could have done more there if he was more decisive sooner. I know his Reaper was regenning, but he had a full HP Hellion to make use of. Wow, okay, well, it's going to be seeing the Reaper taking a little shot right there, and just going to be having the Cyclone from Clem. Moving out on the hunt, so finally something a little bit more sturdy to push this back as we begin our Raven production. There is a Banshee on the way from ByuN, and if you can sneak that into a mineral line, we know that they can be very deadly, so hopefully can get the Banshee and stop that from doing much, because otherwise ByuN really feels like he's getting away with a lot in this early game. Banshee was looking like he was going to stand with the Marines for a moment, but does now begin to move out and across the map. It's funny, by the way, guys, because these two have met in both the previous 2 seasons of the World Team League. During the summer season last year, it was 1-1 between them, and then ByuN won in the ace match. That one was a bit of drama because Clem had to play a DreamHack match and had to like super hardcore cheese, and that was like the only thing he could do. And then they met again in the winter season, and that was also 1-1, obviously in favor of nobody, because 1-1 is just our tie. So yeah, the last two seasons they have actually met when these teams have met, which is just, it's funny to, obviously, you know, each team's guaranteed to meet each season, and maybe wouldn't be so surprising if they just both met in the ace match, but to have them meeting in the regular, you know, stage of the match as well is kind of amusing, and the fact that it's happened here again, even that nowadays you don't have the maps predetermined or anything, that's kind of funny. Tank hits that Reaper, which was mostly just getting forward to pick up some info, I think. Just have a look at that third building and, you know, see if there was any defenses there. So it does exactly that. It does gather that information. Good job, Reaper. Is the Reaper. And it's going to let you know as well as Clem that your CC is slightly sooner. And he does have that command center obviously up and morphed into an orbital already, where ByuN did not. So slight advantage there from Clem. He's down a lot of army supply, but he's up a couple of workers. And he will be faster to the engineering bay upgrades as well. So, yeah, Clem mostly just struggling on army supply. If he can get back in the army game or just not allow ByuN to do too much in the army game for now, then this should just turn into a fairly nice, even mid-game without anyone really kind of too worried for their lives or anything along those lines. ByuN is going to be pulling back as you have the Banshee showing up. Took a long time for this Banshee to show up, but here it is. Again, typically the earlier you know, a Banshee shows up to deal damage, the better. But what's better, showing up early and getting killed, or showing up later and getting some damage done at least? Probably showing up later, as Banshee could have had an extra SCV, got a Marine instead. 5 workers killed, not bad, not the craziest. ByuN trying to use this as a chance to get his main army into position over here, try and keep Clem distracted. And to give himself the chance to maybe make a move onto this orbital command. With tanks already sieging up over to the side. Doesn't look like we're going to have too many issues just yet. ByuN once again just deciding it's better right now to back away, give some space, and to maybe find a moment later on in this game to actually try and commit through and to try and really find the opening that he's looking forward to put himself in a great position. See if he can eventually get it, as again for the moment it's just going to be Clem who has 2-2 already starting. I mean, that is the powerful part I would say of this, is that he's able to get that 2-2 up so quickly. That is 100% going to help, as the few units here are actually going to get caught. Kind of early game units, so not super influential, but obviously it is nice to save your base that's over here, so that is a bonus. Yeah, it was nice to keep that alive, nothing else. Command center is actually going to get delayed at least by these couple of Marines, so nice little catch from Clem, who is starting to be pretty good at moving around with this army and keeping tabs on things, and finally kind of feels like he's able to play his game a little bit after he's been somewhat busy early in the game. And oh, this was a cute move. The Marines hitting the corner, and ByuN sent Marines over here, but he just assumed those Marines were long gone. In reality, not the case. The Marines were right there all this time, and then they get the chance to strike, and they actually deal some reasonable damage. So happy times right there for Clem, who's able to get a second delay on that fourth. He's got his own fourth moving out. In that regard, again, his economy's just been a little bit better throughout, a little bit speedier to the expansions. He's actually down about 5 workers at the moment, though, so maybe a little advantage there to ByuN, although, again, without the 4th base up, a few extra workers might not be as meaningful as you might be, you know, expect them to be. So, yeah, again, swings and roundabouts so far in the early stages. We try and figure out who exactly is going to be taking a significant lead. And hopefully in the near future, hopefully we should know fairly soon how this is going to start going. I mean, we're going to maybe just be maxed out, though, and this might just turn into one of those straight-up maxed out affairs. Really pushing for the longer game. Clem is going to finally be out on the map himself. Obviously, it's been pretty passive from Clem up until now because he's kind of just been trailing. He's being the defender, so no surprise to see him kind of hanging back a little bit more and taking things slowly. See what happens now here as he actually gets on the map himself, and these fights may start to break out. Both of them have been realizing and accepting that, hey, this is going to be really important when it comes to the air control. There's a lot of Vikings, a couple of Ravens still up here from ByuN. Clem has got more Vikings still in production, so again, recognizing this, knowing that it's something he has to fight for a little bit. A little bit of medevac support, of course. There's actually Clem's going to come in from two sides. He gets a Matrix off. The Ravens of ByuN couldn't get far enough forward there to really do much. As Clem eats an anti-armor missile on the Vikings, but he's going to turn and fight anyway. Seems to feel like it doesn't matter too much, and that for now he's actually okay to just continue through against it. So, wow. Now ByuN's actually getting a few tanks on the right side, though. Nice Matrix in the end there as well. Just makes it so that as you continue that chase, you can't really... Yeah, as you continue that chase, there wasn't really enough tanks there from Clem. As that came back, whoa! How about that for a fight graphic? That's a really cool graphic. Oh my goodness. Well, looks like there was a friendly fire of stim. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what the graphic means, but I feel like it's got potential. It's cool. Could be interesting in the future. Obviously, we usually have the battle report, but this is a much nicer way of doing it without it coming up in the middle of the screen. Because when it's in the middle of the screen, it blocks whatever's happening. There, it actually kind of comes on the side, but yeah, like I say, not 100% sure what just happened. Not sure what it was trying to tell us, but maybe we'll get a better look at it a bit further down the line. Oh, it's just the damage you take when casting stim. Oh. I wouldn't have called that friendly fire, though, right? That does actually make sense, obviously, when you think of it like that, but I just don't think we call that friendly fire, right? Oh, that's clever. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that at all. But yeah, no, it's just like I say, it's just not called friendly fire, huh? Alright, well, anyways, next time we'll actually look at the other bits and pieces, and let's come through. A couple of tanks going to go down. ByuN's middle position is somewhat vulnerable, right? Clem is starting to get a little bit of progress here and there on this, so making some possible plays. Are going up to a lot of bases each, 6 bases from ByuN, by the way, and just the 5 from Clem. He's not quite taken base number 6 yet, although he's got the command centers coming online to move one in position if he does so wish. So he does have that option available to him. That's not something he's blocked out from or anything, so I expect something from that sooner rather than later, I'd imagine. See, just still coming up in the corner. ByuN just keeps expanding aggressively. And Clem is not really doing enough to stop him from doing that, right? Like, you know, Clem could absolutely be denying those bases that built-in location stuff, but because he isn't, ByuN's just like, well, yeah, I'll keep doing it. Why the hell not? And, you know, can't really disagree with that. Why the hell not? Great point. Did you see the Marines stimming in? They get rid of this base on the bottom side, so that will fall. Marines going to get an SUV. A lot of Marines around this bottom side. Well, now they're going to stim in. The Marines of Clem are going to stim back at them, and that's actually going to be pretty nice and simple. Good cleanup. Oh, wow. Clem's having a great time, isn't he? Clem's having a really good time with all that. Jeez. That worked out really well. As now more Marines from the left-hand side coming through as well. Gets rid of this supply depot, and now making a play for this base. And now he's pushing on the right side as well. ByuN's supply has just plummeted. Now, this planetary force ain't going to be savable, as Clem does lose a Raven very quickly there. But yeah, it feels like ByuN just can't quite keep up with what Clem is doing at the moment, and he is being run around silly. And all of a sudden, ByuN loses the bottom left, he's going to lose the far right, and he's going to lose probably the upper right bases as well, right? So he's actually going to end up losing a lot of bases in quick succession. There is still a potential push in. ByuN on the south side is perhaps ready to come running in at this as well. We've seen the Vikings continue to fight here, and just going to be having Vikings continue to take trades. I don't know why we're watching the freaking tanks when the Viking war is happening. Observer, please. I just want to see the StarCraft. Yeah, I mean, you can just see that Clem continues to win this out, continues to push on through this. His auto turrets are good. And he is able to just soak up a little bit more, and Clem maintains a 40-ish supply lead at the moment. As we do have a couple missile turrets in the tank, middle of the map on the left side cleared out. ByuN still has the very far top right corner base that's coming online, but I don't believe he's got many SCVs there for it to make much of a difference. I suppose we'll find out shortly as this continues to progress. Vikings firing, rest of the Marines still trying to come through. Just going to be seeing a couple matrices going down across the board. So that's just going to be the tanks kind of getting caught up in that. Getting blown up pretty quickly, and just going to be seeing ByuN now trying to make his way up through middle of the map here. So looking for a counterattack, realizing that playing fully defensive isn't working out for him. Maybe on the counter he can take things into his own hands a little bit and maybe possibly achieve something, because again it's been pretty slow going for him. Just sitting back at home defending, but Clem's rotated back around and make sure that that can't happen either. And ByuN is still going to stay maxed out, but Clem obviously took a lot more control in this game now. As he scans top right, that's a base he knows he can take down as well. And that's the main thing. He's going to have ByuN really stuck on a lower base count here very soon, and that's, again, probably game-changing. Tanks gonna fire. I'm gonna see our Marines coming back along over that right-hand side, and just gonna be seeing anti-arm missile going down. Just gonna have big matrices going off on Clem's tanks. Clem will auto turret to help protect the tanks, so it helps him just big time winning that Marine fight, which is obviously so important right there. So that's a pretty huge deal. Just gonna be seeing still this force of Clem on the left-hand side moving around. Marines, tanks, Vikings, Ravens. Back through into the center and just seeing what they can do here. Maybe have Marines coming down looking for the couple of barracks, which will probably be getting picked away pretty quickly. Marines continue to get shot down. He's going to see that tank getting hit by the Matrix, and the rest of these tanks firing away. The Vikings coming through and continue to chase the Ravens in the back, and now going to Matrix these tanks in the front. And Clem just looking to set up for even more possibility to shutting this army down. Feels like ByuN doesn't have any Ravens left over, or very few. The one there that he just had flying in obviously went down pretty quickly, and without that, it feels like he just doesn't have any spellcasting of his own to really help in a lot of these scenarios, which just makes Clem's army that much better and that much stronger. And with a back to back it up, Clem is looking really good right now to win out in this first game. Back and forth we go. A few Marines still getting blasted, still getting torn apart. Tank goes down. The rest of these Marines continue to get picked off. Oh man, ByuN just move commanded. Well, I don't think they move commanded, but he didn't hold position them, so they were just like single filing into the tank fire there. Clem takes map number 1 and is at least going to give Liquid some life in this series. And Clem just a good fight on the back, some good upgrades, upgraded advantage for him, plus then leading into that just never-ending push and just never giving ByuN a chance to do damage or to turn the game around anymore. It was very well played. GG's. Sorry, I just wanted to press this button. What's up, Umbrellas Rex? Thank you so much for the 38-month resub. Team League for the win. Hells yeah. Thank you so much for the 38 months. It's a hell of a long time. ByuN's in the top right, looking to push Shopify Rebellion onto match point ahead of maps 5 and 6. While Clem looks to tie this series up and take it 2-2. Here's our blue Terran in the bottom left-hand corner. Double gas from Clem, single gas from ByuN. A little difference here early game in this game number 2. Generally suggests that ByuN is looking for a faster expansion, of course, while on the other side, it's going to be Clem that's looking for a little bit of a, just more kind of aggressive play, getting that kind of Reaper Hellion setup going again, and basically playing from that. Nothing really too surprising. So, that's what we currently aim for. As it CC quickly from ByuN, despite it being a one gas expansion, he will build it on the high ground, so that's just a sign of almost respect, just safety. He wants the fast expansion, but he doesn't want to be fully risky while doing so, so he's just going to kind of go in the middle of kind of the eco play versus the safe play, which is a high ground CC. This means it's not as bad for Clem. He doesn't need to get as much damage done here to kind of catch up on economy, because his own command center will build low ground, and the majority of time that it's kind of not built is the time it takes for that CC to fly down to the low ground, right? So, yeah, definitely not too bad all in all from Clem, even if he doesn't find any damage here. Starport will drop down, and that's going to be on both sides of the map, so you can see the tech isn't really delayed or anything from ByuN either. He did skip a couple of earlier units to go initially into that reactor and just give him a stronger setup a bit further down the line. So, yeah, we'll already have that reactor up. Clem is finishing up a tech lab right now. Looks like he might go straight into a Cyclone. That, or he could maybe build into a, immediately just kind of tech lab on the starport. And let's even say maybe like Super Banshee or something, but yeah, probably just build the tech lab on the starport of his own accord and then just get into that Raven, which needed a little bit more gas for, so you got to save up for that for a little while first here as well. So gas on the low ground. Would you see the orbital command flying across to the natural? It's going to land down as well. It's going to be the Banshee from Clem. I don't know why, but I just kind of felt like he might sneak a Banshee in here this game. That's exactly what he's going to do. It doesn't mean that he's going to be behind on the Raven production, however, so we'll see if this Banshee can really deliver enough to make up for that. It's obviously not a guarantee or anything, so it's definitely a pretty reasonable early question. Excited to see what the answer to that is. As do you have the Raven production now starting from Clem. Banshee's going to go up the left side. Oh, I think the Ravens just missed that, which is actually good for Clem. While knowing the Banshee is there is nice, while knowing the Ravens coming in is nice, it's way better for Clem to have this Banshee be unknown about than it is for Clem to have the heads up on this Raven moving in. This Raven's likely to get some damage done. Going to see immediately here, ByuN's going to catch a couple of Clem's Reapers that are out on the map. Again, 3 SCVs going down immediately here as Clem gets forward, gets the lock onto the Cyclone. That's a pretty big deal, but now his own 2 Cyclones are in trouble with these Hellions, and it looks like they will be going down. So, well, here comes the Banshee Harbor, and this is going to start making up for this. And there's no anti-air over here, a handful of Marines, but the SCVs low ground are in trouble. 6, 7, looking for 8 kills here at the very least, and we're not done yet. Auto turret is back from ByuN, but Clem pulls the SCVs before we see any losses, so it does feel like Clem is getting enough done at the end of this. I mean, obviously, an array of things happening all at once there. Now Clem is fighting the rocks, and he moves a bit too far forward there. And that definitely feels like one of those moments where ping may come into effect here in the TvT. Obviously, it doesn't necessarily give one person an advantage versus a disadvantage, but little micro moments like that are very kind of specific in terms of when you need to pull back and so on while staying in range. Those are the sort of things that are affected by that ping that is just unavoidable when playing cross-server. This should be played on NA. Either West or Central? It doesn't really kind of change too much, but West is better for ByuN, Central's better for Clem. One of these games will have been played on West, one of them will have been played on Central. I don't know which of them is which. There's been a couple moments in each game where you could maybe say, oh god, that, you know, it didn't look like he had the ping advantage there. Again, it's not necessarily about having the ping advantage, it's just the ping being present makes some of those interactions harder to play out and, you know, play against properly, right? In this case, just see the Ravens still dealing more damage. 4 more SCVs end up going down. Pretty big deal once more as our Ravens will join up out into the center of the map. The auto turret here still fighting, an SCV going down. The SCV will fall and still just picking our way through this refinery. Now the auto turret is going to go and disappear a little bit. So that will be that cleaned up. Well, Vikings is on the right side, able to see what's potentially looming just that nearby. A couple of Hellions, good to know about, right? Good to know that they're potentially there. Potential run by coming in. As ByuN has moved to the middle of the map. Next step here, well, actually ByuN's diving into the natural with Hellions. He's always going to get a chunk of them. They're still kind of lining up. It's taking a long time to get rid of these Hellions as well from Clem. He's finally going to get through here, but 6 SCVs going down. He's going to lose more. Oh my goodness, he's very lucky not to have lost probably 2 more at the end there, but yeah, 7 SCVs, still not bad. ByuN once again being the aggressor, finding openings, getting damage done. I mean, for Clem, obviously he had that Banshee early, but since that Banshee's not had anything else, it's been ByuN on the map, ByuN active, and ByuN looking for the aggressive openings, and has been doing, again, the absolute best he can, just to try and take any advantage possible here so far. Clem's pushing up. He will see with the Ravens, that army of tanks sieging up from over there. Stim only just starting from Clem, and I was kind of thinking about that when he was chasing the Hellions. It's like, do these Marines not have Stim? It's not super weird for TvT to have a later Stim pack in play, especially when Clem's built a Banshee double Raven. I'm not sure if this is still like a little bit delayed from what it could have been, but I actually think it's not too crazy because, again, he's been very tech heavy so far. It doesn't mean that ByuN's going to have that much faster combat shield and 1-1, and that could, of course, influence fights massively. So it's something for us to be, again, keeping our eyes open for and seeing if anything really comes of it in the next little while. As we see ByuN attempting to stim in on the left. A couple of unsieged tanks. Actually going to be in trouble. Marines are happy to trade for those. 1 tank, 2 tank, handful of Marines. Yeah, I mean, those Marines will be very happy for it. Anything you can do to reduce the tank count, kill off gas-based units with only mineral Marines. Yes, please. You keep on taking those day after day after day. So, yeah, nice little trade there from ByuN. And again, I suppose that ByuN has had a lot of the edges so far in this game. Has just been that a little bit better throughout, up until now at least. There we go, as that tank's going to siege. We are going to see ByuN being the aggressor again, looking for the way in. Because the first 2 matrices off, which is big, just allows the Marines to slip into the natural expansion, and Clem feels like he's just getting bullied this game, right? Just ByuN is constantly on the aggression, as I was saying before. He's constantly just in the right place at the right time, able to put his armies into the right places. And I mean, at this point here, ByuN is looking very good to tie up with Clem. And that would push Shopify Rebellion onto a 3-1 lead in the series, which would mean that Lambo only needs to win 1 map against Kalazur to put the Shopify Rebellion to 4-1 and Team Liquid to 0-5 here in the World Team League season. Liberalis is going to be moving forward. He's going to get a siege up, and Marines will run in. Vikings taking some damage. You're going to turn back around and fight. Clem's just losing so many Vikings as well. This game has just not been it for him at all. ByuN's just looked extremely comfortable throughout. And, yeah, Clem has just not been able to take any of these fights, which he's looking for. And he's not been, not just about taking fights, he's not been able to play well against the fights of his opponent either, right? I think that's the most important thing, that every time ByuN is looking for a fight, he's been able to do it very easily. And Clem's just not being able to come with like a counter attack, you know, a counter option. He's not like, oh look, you know, you're gonna matrix me here, but I'm gonna do this to kind of, you know, push you back or so. We're just gonna get across. Command center will go down. And that's gonna be GG's from Team Liquid's Clem. ByuN is going to tie this 1-1 against him. Obviously, that's the only two maps these two play. That means the Shopify Rebellion will have a 3-1 lead going into the Lambo match. Lambo just needs one match to close the series out for the Rebellion.